With the full moon waning, the early morning air is chilled, as only it can be in those last few minutes before dawn, and hunters Andy Knutson and Eric Faulkner hurry to complete the task at hand. With their decoys in place, they silently slip into their layout blinds as they wait to see if they can lure the ducks into this corner of the lake.
Sit.
Tank, Andy's black lab, is anxious to retrieve birds. Very anxious. Anxious to the point where he seems he's about to wriggle out of his own skin. Fortunately, they don't have to wait very long for the first few birds to come into range. And Tank doesn't need to be told what to do.
When Tanky sees the duck go down, it's tough to keep him controlled. He wants to be in the water and on the retrieve and picking up the bird. He's got a real spirit for it and a real passion for getting out there. I started duck hunting when I was 13 years old. It was kind of a family tradition. My father's a duck hunter, his father was a duck hunter, and so we had tons of different area to hunt and opportunities for it, and so he got me into it at an early age. So I guess that means I've been duck hunting for 28 years, 29 years, something like that. Out in Arizona, we've been duck hunting for what, 15 years now, maybe?
15 years, yeah. And we've hit about every water hole, sinkhole, mud hole, lake, pond, all over the state.
Every year, around 6,000 hunters head to the waters of Arizona in pursuit of 20 species of available waterfowl. Duck hunting in Arizona can present some unique challenges, so being flexible in your approach to the sport can be helpful.
We hunt out of a flat-bottom boat with a blind on it. We've hunted out of hay bale blinds. We're currently using today layout blinds. They all work pretty good, different applications. You know, layout blinds, it's a little bit more difficult to shoot ducks sometimes because you're in it sitting down if you're not used to that. It takes a little bit to get your groove on with it, a little bit of practice. There's not a lot of cover around a lot of the lakes in Arizona, so you have to kind of improvise. A lot of people like to come out and just jump shoot, but we found the best success to put the decoys out and let the birds work.
As all hunters know, the amount of game you harvest isn't the only measure of a successful hunt. Sometimes just getting away from the stresses of work, the economy, and everything else going on in the world and spending time in the great outdoors is its own reward.
You just sit back at a lake and you just don't think of anything but when the next bird's going to come in. And if it doesn't, you had a great day sitting out at the lake, and a lot of times you see various other species. We've seen bald eagles drop down on the ice and snatch, a dead mallard off the lake. So there's all kinds of things. This particular lake, you see some elk around, you see all kinds of animals, and it's neat to.
Yeah, heard the coyotes calling this morning, and today we had quite the showing of red-tailed hawks that were dancing all over the lake. So
yeah,
it's all that. There's so much that happens around us that we don't get to see because we don't often enough sit still enough just to watch it. And that's one of the beautiful parts about duck hunting is you're sitting still and you're watching nature around you. And you're always amazed at what comes up because you never know what's going to be next.
Of course, don't tell that to Tank. He knows what his job is, and sitting around admiring the natural world in all its glory is not it. While you don't have to have a dog to hunt waterfowl, you can always pick up your downed game from a boat. They certainly add an extra element to the experience.
It's just more fun. It's just fun to watch the excitement of the dog running around, to have that companion. I mean, there's some times where Eric can't go hunting with me, and there's times when I've gone out with just he and Tug, the other dog, and it's just fun. I mean, it's a different level of excitement when the dog's around, because you can see him. He's game on the entire time. He does not sit down and rest. And it's just fun to have that.
When we miss a duck, you'll hear he sits there and whines at us because he knows we missed the duck. And his favorite hobby when we do miss a duck is to go pick up the spent cartridge and bring it back and show us that that's all he had to retrieve.
Yeah.
If you're interested in getting started in duck hunting or taking your game to the next level, There's a lot of information available to help you out.
Best thing you can do is talk to Game and Fish, go to the local Forest Service, pick up some maps and see what's around and start talking to some folks about the different lakes and the different bodies of water that are out there, and then get out and go scout. Go see where the birds are. And one group that we both believe in very strongly is Ducks Unlimited. We're both members of Ducks Unlimited. Eric was a former state or area chairman, and I'm a current area chairman with the Ducks Unlimited chapter. It's an excellent organization to meet like-minded individuals that are involved in the sport and also involved in the conservation end of it, where we can participate in giving back to the sport that we all love so much.
Today, Andy and Eric took canvasbacks, teals, bufflehead, and a ringbill. Even though they didn't make their bag limit, it was enough to make it a successful trip.
Yeah, so we've got a large lake that we're working, and the birds were spending their time on either side of it and not in front of us. So it made it a little bit challenging. There's about 1,000 coot or so on the lake, and they were decoying the ducks right into them. So it made it a little bit more difficult, but enjoyable nonetheless. We still had a decent shoot, picked up a handful of birds, so it was a lot of fun.
I think it's fair to say that Tank had a good time too. Now if they can just find a way to get him a little more excited about being out in the field.
Bring it here, buddy. Here, boy. Good boy, Tanky, good boy. Give it here. Good boy.